breast. I thought that was a bit too dull to read, but of course you went and did it. No surprises there.
Thank you very much.
That's all right. See you tomorrow.
OK.
Now, football and Hull City are tantalisingly close to the Premier League after moving into one of the two automatic promotion spots. The Tigers' 3-1 away win at Barnsley last night caused quite a stir amongst fans who spent much of today queuing for tickets for the final home game of the season. Well, Philip Norton is at the KC Stadium for us tonight. So what time did the fans start turning up for the tickets then today, Phil?
Well, Peter, when I arrived here at 7:30 this morning, I was expecting to find just a handful of fans, but what I actually found was hundreds, and they were queuing right around the KC Stadium. It was an incredible sight for that time of the morning. The club estimates around 600 people have turned up to buy tickets today. It shows just how much the fans are getting behind the Tigers. Even after a night without sleep and a number of rain showers, you still couldn't wipe the smiles off these faces. This was shortly after 7:30 this morning. Hundreds of fans queuing up for precious tickets, many of whom had started queuing at 11 o'clock last night, straight after travelling back from the game at Barnsley.
Fantastic night. Just hoping to get tickets now for Ipswich. Seen some dark days, but these are the good days, so might as well enjoy them while we can. So.
But West Brom can do what they want. We're going to go second, I would think.
We're going to win it. We're queuing up for Ipswich tickets now. We're going to win it Ipswich at last game of the season. Then the party begins all summer.
Yeah, them babies. That's what it's all about, pal. Sexy.
It took the Tigers just over 20 minutes to get off the mark at Oakwell. Hull were awarded a penalty following this mistimed challenge on Fraser Campbell. Dean Marnie stepping up to coolly slot the ball home to put them in front. Ian Ashby doubled Hull's lead after the break, the midfielder rising above everyone in the Barnsley box to head home a corner kick. With time running out, Dean Windass was introduced from the subs bench, and within a minute the veteran striker had fired the Tigers 3 goals in front, prodding the ball past Tykes keeper Luke Steele from 12 yards out. The result means the Premier League dream is, for the first time, entirely in Hull City's hands. If they win every remaining game, they're up automatically on goal difference. But the 3 remaining matches are tough ones. Away at Sheffield United this weekend, followed by Crystal Palace and Ipswich Town, all of which have a sniff of a playoff place and themselves need to win. But it can't stop the thoughts of Hull's Premier League goal and football fevers gripping the city, even in some unlikely places. Matthew Davidson's a hairdresser to the stars. He's almost preparing himself for an influx of mega-rich footballers.
I can do some little plats for Didier, or we can give a few crew cuts for Canuti, you know. And as I say, it's the feeling, especially in the salon, which is very much a sort of a ladies' environment. They're all interested. They want to go, and a lot of my girls are now going to the matches. It's amazing.
And along with every other fan, Matthew's keeping his fingers crossed. You know, talking to fans in the queue this morning, they were telling me that throughout the season they've been worried that the bubble was going to burst, but it seems that bubble hasn't burst. It's still intact, and after last night's result, it seems Tigers fans are daring to dream that they soon could have a Premier League club.
Everything is crossed. So if you got your tickets this morning, then well done. Well, earlier this evening I caught up with Hull City chairman Paul Duffin and asked him whether he's encouraging fans in their Premier League dreams.
Yes, although the dream is in danger of becoming a reality day by day, so absolutely.
You sat there amongst the fans last night, didn't you? I mean, what was that like? What did you pick up from them?
It was fantastic. I sat with the travelling fans at the Colchester game a little earlier in the season, but last night with 3,800 fans out of a total audience of 13,000, it sounded like a home game, and the adrenaline coming from the travelling support last night was magnificent. When I got home, I watched it on the TV, and I have to say that came across as well, I think, on the TV feed. It was amazing.
What have you got to do now? You're on the edge. What have you got to do as chairman, then, of the club?
I think this is very much a sort of leadership role in terms of keeping everybody focused on feet on the ground, one game at a time, all the football cliches, and not getting too carried away. But genuinely just keeping everybody very focused on the next match and then the next match. And in the background, obviously, we're preparing for a very different world next season because we have to have all those contingency plans well advanced.
And you're working on that already, are you?
Been working on it since the turn of the year. We have a scouting network that's been out looking at potential new recruits for next year that could help us sustain a Premiership challenge. No, I think that's very unfair, both from the perspective of the existing squad and also I don't want to warn those other clubs out there who we might be looking at. So,
what do you say to the fans tonight? Because, as I say, they are daring to dream. What's your message? Because so many of them will be watching the programme tonight and hanging on to your every word.
Well, I think, you know, mathematically the reality is the worst case scenario this season looks like playoffs. I think we're past that threshold now with 72 points. We only have to, I think, well, obviously if we win the last 3 games, we're guaranteed to be in the Premier League. If you want to attach a more finite relationship to it, we need to match Stoke's points haul over the last 3 games, and we'll be above them. So I think we just have to keep on doing what we're doing right now.
Everything's crossed. Very good to see you.
Everything is.
Now it's just 17.